In the earliest days of our nation, the herald was sounded for the elite men of England to decide the fate of our country. Such a gathering was known to our forefathers as the Witan. Now, in the ruins of our kingdom, the call has been sounded again. A new, rising elite of steadfast men and women have a new Witan. This is the epicentre of the new British right. We shall hear from the heavyweights of our sphere: Carl Benjamin, Ed Dutton, Howard Cox, Nathan Hood, Nina Power, Catherine Blakelock, Josh Firm, and many more inspired speakers. This Witan will surely be generational. Buy your tickets now at shieldings.com.
So we recently learned that last year, the net migration into the United Kingdom was 700,000 people. This is from the government's Office of National Statistics. And they tell us that the births were nearly 600,000. The deaths were just over 550,000. So that is a net gain. Internal migration in and internal migration out, as in British people, 42,000 came back, 56,000 left. So the number of Brits actually fleeing Britain, not very large. International migration in, 1.142 million. That's an unbelievable number. Considering, I mean, that's the number of people who live in Birmingham are allowed to just from anywhere in the world come and settle in this country every fucking year. It is madness. Absolutely madness. Enoch Powell must be freaking out in the afterlife. And against that, adjusted against that, was 450,000 who left. Because, of course, hundreds of thousands of them leave every year. It's just we keep cramming more and more into the country. And there was another interesting number here from The Guardian, where they pointed out this means that immigration is 98% of the total population growth of the United Kingdom. It is insane. But then they pointed out, well, this is crazy, right? So this year, the UK population exceeded that of France for the first time on record, because France is actually a much bigger per landmass country than Britain. And yet we've got 68.3 million estimated, compared to France's 68.2 million. Now, this is going to be well over 70 million. We are going to have millions of illegals swanning around in the immigrant communities that we have allowed to pop up. And they expect it to grow to 73.7 million by mid-2036. That is mad. Absolutely mad. Again, I keep saying, England is one of the most densely populated countries in the world. And yet our government is just cramming more and more and more in. And we wonder why we can't afford anything and why Keir Starmer can legitimately call us an island of strangers. Obviously true. This is mad. So anyway, what this has brought with us, what this has brought with it, is a crazy number of foreign sex offenders. It's just mad. Absolutely mad. So we've got the numbers for the first time ever. So the foreign national sex offenders in prison were up 9.9% in the last 12 months. Oh, that's great. The rate of increase was nearly 3 times that of Britain's, as in people born in the United Kingdom, not necessarily English, Scottish, Welsh, or Irish, or Northern Irish. And so we're just importing sex offenders from around the world, and we're keeping them in our prisons. I mean, this is just mad. It's just absolutely mad. Foreign sex offenders. There's nearly 2,000 of them in our jails at this point. Foreign nationals account for 1 in 8 of the 87,000 prisoners in England and Wales, the highest number in at least a decade, and the second highest proportion on record, just down from 12.5% in 2021. That's just mad, isn't it? We can see, by now breakdown of nationality, that actually there's loads of Albanian, Polish, Romanian, Irish, Lithuanian, Jamaican, Indian, Pakistani, Portuguese and Iraqi foreign nationals in our prisons. Why are they here? Why do we allow foreign nationals to stay here? Anyway, there have been notable increases in the past year of foreign nationals from India, Iran, Afghanistan, Sudanese and Syrians, that have all been sent to jail. It's like, oh, brilliant. That's just brilliant. That's just absolutely wild. And like you can see the stats, just foreign, all offences up 3.2, British nationals down. The British are dark blue, the foreign nationals are light blue. And you can see for like drug offences, people just basically not going to jail for drug offences anymore because, I mean, it's not killing anyone, I suppose, but look at the sexual offences. Look at that. And violent offences as well, obviously. And so this is a real problem considering how overcrowded our prisons are. You would think we would just get rid of them. So the Tories, though, have estimated that the cost of keeping the 6,673 foreign prisoners who are sentenced as more than £360 million a year based on the cost of £54,000 a year per inmate. Now, that's just wild. That's absolutely wild that we are paying so much goddamn money. That's way higher than the average national wage, by the way. By a significant significant margin than the national wage. And what's really crazy is that amount, 360 million a year, is about 60 million more than we spend on the entirety of the armed forces. We spend from the Royal Navy to the British Army to the Royal Air Force about 300 million. 302 million or something like that. And so that is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Britain spends more on imprisoning foreigners than it does on defending its own borders, which presumably is why we spend more on imprisoning foreigners than we do defending our fucking borders. Now, all of this, you just think, okay, well, why don't they just get the lash and then get kicked out of the country? And you would be right in asking that. But for some reason, our government acts as though the second a foreigner arrives here, basically, we have to do everything in our power to keep them here. And all of the systems, they've got the lefty human rights laws to allow them to claim asylum, to claim this, to claim that, to allow an entire industry of lefty human rights lawyers to prevent us from just ejecting these people from the country. Now, it should be that we repeal all of these laws, and we institute a law that simply says, if you are a foreign national and you commit a crime, we're going to lash you, appropriate your property, and kick you out of the goddamn country, and you will never be allowed back. This I think would be an adequate punishment. This would be adequate recompense, as in you don't get to keep your property that you have here, sorry, because piss off, and you're never coming back to cause us trouble in the future. And I think the thing is, you don't have to do this that much either. I think that'll just send a signal to foreign nationals, be like, oh right, the British aren't messing around anymore. If we go to their country, we better be on our best behaviour. If you end up raping someone, for instance, you're in trouble, right? You're really going to regret doing that. That would be the right thing to do. And every single day, there's like, oh, new migrant raped someone. Don't be a racist. Don't look back in anger. God only knows. But again, it's not just Britain. It's not just England, right? It's Scotland as well. So almost half of Scotland's foreign prisoners are from just 3 countries. And this is crazy, right? Criminals from just 3 countries account for 40% of foreign prisoners in Scotland's jails. So, like, why are we allowing these people in from these countries? Of course, this is Albania, obviously, Poland and Vietnam. It's like, none of these places have got any claim to, like, you know, there's a war going on. More than a quarter of Eritreans. And the thing is that right, so a Conservative member of the Scottish Parliament, Mr. Kerr, Stephen Kerr, compared the figures with passport data from the 2020 Scottish census, and warned that the imprisonment rates for nationals from 4 countries are so high as to be absurd. Right, more than a quarter of Eritreans living in Scotland are estimated to be in prison. 1 in 4 Eritreans in Scotland, I'm sure there's not that many of them, are in prison. More than 1 in 5 Somalians in Scotland are in prison. More than 1 in 6 Albanians in Scotland and Vietnamese are in prison. What are we doing? Because it's not like... And the thing is, I think people have got to remember, right? These are not actually necessarily representative of these countries, right? Because people who are not indecent people in foreign parts don't actually tend to just get on a boat or sneak their way into the country somehow, or even apply to live in another country. And then, you know, sponge off the benefits, deal drugs, whatever it is, the Albanians and whoever else are doing. Like the half decent people don't do this. So basically, these countries are sending us their criminal underclasses, and lo and behold, their criminal underclasses commit loads of fucking crime, and that means lo and behold, we have to lock an unbelievable percentage of them up. I mean, imagine just if of any normal population in England, 1 in 4 was in jail. You'd be like, there's something really wrong with that community. Like I said, I actually don't think this is all that representative of foreign countries. I think that what the problem is, they're just happily expelling all of their bad people. I'd be very interested to know what the crime rate in like Albania and Eritrea is actually like now, because they've sent us all of the scum of the earth of their country. I wonder if it's gone down. I mean, I doubt these countries keep adequate statistics on anything, but you can't help but feel that this has probably gone down, right? Like, it's very likely that things are getting safer in these countries because we are bringing over their bad people and locking them up for the price of more than what we spend on the fucking military. Like, it would be more sensible to not imprison any of these people, double the size of our military, and just go and take these countries over. Like, we could go and administer them if they want. If they're like, yeah, well, our population, I mean, is it representative that 1/4 of Eritreans are criminals? I'm going to be charitable and say probably not. I think actually the problem is with the Eritrean state, if there is such a thing. Same with Somalians and the Albanians. The problem is with the way these countries are being governed. And I tell you what, we used to be great at, it's governance. Everyone loved to live under Britain, really. And the rate of immigration would suggest, actually, people kind of lament that we're not there. And so it's like, listen, right, I know you want access to Britain. You're desperate for access to Britain. What we can do is kick out your foreigners, kick out the foreign criminals. We won't pay for them. What we'll do is we'll pay for the army. We'll pay for an administration. And we'll go over and take over your country and administer it properly so you can live in Britain without actually fucking coming here. Because, good God, man, this is just mental. Absolutely mental. But obviously, it's what the system wants. It's how the system operates. This is what they do, and they allow to be done to us. We have to pay the piper. Anyway, I'll be at the Skildings conference, the WITAN. Leave a link in the description. Do come along if you would like to come and hear me and many other the leading right-wing figures give speeches and have conversations with us and just have a jolly weekend that will be very interesting and hopefully very nourishing. So link in the description. I'll see you there.